Welcome back to Golf Training Hacks. So you want to get more rotation in your golf swing? You want to get that big backswing to get those big drives? Well, in order to do that, you're going to need to get some movement in your scapula. Because if you can't retract your scapula, it's really tough to get a full backswing. And if you can't get distance from your top of your backswing to impact, you're never going to be able to get that club head speed going, and you're not going to be able to get those big drives. And here's what I mean. If you can't retract and protract your scapula, or just draw it back and extend it, it's really tough to get your backswing in its full rotation. And here's what I mean. Try it. Get into your stance, get into a dress, keep your shoulder locked forward, and then try to rotate back into your backswing. Okay, you can't do it, right? You need to be able to retract that scapula in order to get a big backswing. So in this video, we're going to show you 3 ways to help you improve scapular movement so you can get that big backswing, develop some club head speed, and get those big drives. So let's get started. So the first way to get some movement in your scapula is to begin to get some blood flow and some pliability into the muscles that are controlling your scapula. So we're going to do that with a tennis ball. Okay, so Cheryl's going to turn around. I'm going to show you where you're going to put it. So, you know, your scapula is that triangle, basically a shoulder blade. And here's the medial border of that bony structure. So you're going to place the tennis ball along this medial border, one spot at a time. And you're going to raise your arm over your head and breathe and just feel which spots are more sensitive than others. You may find a trigger point. You want to stay on that spot and just breathe. Cheryl's going to show, I'm just going to hold it first. She's going to lay on the back now. So remember, we're on the medial border. We're starting at the top. And all Cheryl's going to do is move her arm around, kind of hunt around and see what hurts. Now that might be very sensitive, or it might not feel, she might not feel much at all there. If you do feel a very sensitive spot and it hurts a lot, you know, you have to release the pressure a little bit. You don't want to be in too much pain. If you do find a trigger point, what you should do is just breathe into that trigger point. You can just take a deep diaphragmatic breath and release. And we recommend that you breathe in and out through your nose, right? Nasal breathing is very important for your health, and it also induces that deep diaphragmatic relaxing breath that's so important to a lot of things, particularly spinal alignment. So you can then roll that ball down a little bit or up a little bit, depending on what you want to do, and you just keep moving around. You find a spot that's painful, stay on it. Muscles that have trigger points or a little stiff, a little painful, they'll release the pressure as long as you keep that pressure on it for a little while. You don't want to be in a lot of pain, but you want to feel some pressure, and it will release eventually, but you got to stay with it. You can spend some time doing this, 2, 3, 4 minutes, you know? All right? So that's number 1. In this video, I'm going to give you an exercise to help you improve your scapular function and your overall shoulder function. So you're going to take a band, you're going to hold it here, it's called a W, and what you will do is just pull the band apart, hold it, and release. Pull the band apart, so you're trying to make a W, and release. If you want make it a little bit easier, you just lengthen the amount of space between your hands. Pull it apart and release. So what I'm doing is squeezing my shoulder blades together as I'm doing this. I pull it apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release. Pull it apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and release. This is an excellent exercise to help your scapular function. In this video, I'm going to give you an exercise to help you improve the way your scapula functions. Now, of course, there are a bunch of muscles in your upper back that control scapular movement. But one that's kind of overlooked is the serratus, and that's this muscle right here. That muscle also controls the way your scapula move, and you have to make that stronger as well. So you can do that with pulleys or a band. So what I'm doing in this exercise is pressing up, let's say, 45 degrees to the ceiling. And what I'm trying to do is really extend my fists as far as they can go forward. So I'm going to brace myself, screw my feet into the ground, squeeze my butt, get a good base to work against. And now I'm going to press this up as far as I can so that this muscle is working. So I'm not just pressing like this. I'm trying to extend all the way out and come back. I'm pressing up about 45 degrees. I'm extending as far as my scapula will let me upwards, and then I'm coming back. Press up and extend and back. Press up all the way, extend, and come back. You could also do this with one arm. So I'm going to do this with a one arm press. Again, 45 degrees up. I'm trying to extend this as far as I can and come down. Extend as far as I can and come down. So when you're doing that single arm serratus press, what you want to do is not rotate. So I'm not rotating. My shoulder's staying square to you, and I'm pressing that band up and working this muscle. So I'm extending as far as I can and coming back. I'm extending as far as I can, but I'm not rotating into it, and then coming back. So I'm extending as far as I can. I want this to work, the muscle right here, and come back. Extend as far as I can. That's working, and I'm coming back. So a serratus press with a pulley system or a band, two arm or one arm is a great way to work the serratus, which is a muscle that also controls your scapula, and that'll help your scapular function improve. So if you found that helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And don't forget, check out other videos in the channel to help you improve your movement quality and keep that youthful fluid swing while staying injury-free.